Hello, and welcome to a game between Crowarior and Reef. Reef, you know I love you, my luck. Referencing the bad side of Ciano here. We do have third New Zealand versus 26 Panzer, I believe here, yeah. Second New Zealand, not third. So, second New Zealand versus, of course, the 26 Panzerdivision on Ciano. For Crowarior down here, Stuart 5, Spandau, that's the MG 34 or 42 that the British erroneously called the Spandau here. Staghound, Artillery Command, Caldromics, Opolites, multiple Opolites here, 3 of them. Diggers Piet, Caldromics, 2 more Caldromics MX, 17 pounder, more Recon, and another Staghound. Caldromics and a Recon as well. And then Diggers Piet, Field Engineers, Caldromics, 6 pounder, and 1 more MG. This is Maverick versus Maverick. And on Reef's side here, Flammenwerfer, Panzerschreck, Beretta Stoßtrupp, 2 of them, Panzergrenadier, and a Pack 40. Aufklärer, Flammenwerfer, Ersatztruppen, and a Grille. Going in the center here, just barely trying to hold on to this, but really the push that Reef is going for is up here. Flammenwerfer, 2 of them, Panzergrenadier, Aufklärer, Ersatztruppen. It's interesting that he brought this in the like little schwimmboat. But Pack 40 unloading early here. Panzergrenadier, Panzer 4F1, Keppard left behind. Panzerschreck, 2 more Stoßtrupp, Grenadier, and a Flammenwerfer. Recon plane as well, as the Staghound rushes forward. Does get the smoke down here for these Flammenwerfers, but as long as these units get in range here, there's very little I think that Reef could do to stop these units from taking the town with just that little investment. There's no AT here. The Stoßtrupp do get unloaded here as the Staghound rushes in. Doesn't have to be too careful or anything. There's, of course, not any AT to deal with it. But the Stoßtrupp actually launched their Molotov at the Staghound there. And it does not go down. Very rare that those do go down, but it does happen. Baltimore dropping on the 2-star Panzergrenadier here. Grille is firing away, trying to just deal with that Staghound, but there's a 17 pounder here. 17 are not quite in range, but the Staghound is. And Grille, not known to be, well, very armored, and the late pullback there, and in fact, not even pulling back behind the trees. Does get the snipe there. Alright, instead of pulling straight back, you can kind of use the trees to your advantage here and pull back on the road to escape very quickly. Stoßtrupp surrounded now and pinned down, both having run out of Molotovs, so this push up here is just going to be very, very dangerous. Stuart 5 and they're staying out as well. Panzergrenadier didn't quite go down. Keppard's still in the back as the Spitfire comes out. Multiple MGs, though, setting up for some kind of a push here, likely an MG push. Very risky to do that without any AT as well, as a single tank will be able to shut that down, but Spitfire actually going after the BF-109 now. The Spitfire definitely having the capability to kill something like a BF-109, which only has 2 MGs on it. Spitfire at least having the 20mm, and it does go down. Keppard is firing, but not close enough to the front to affect anything, as the Stuart 5 makes its way onto the hill here. Panzer 4F1 also back here, and a 4H coming in, trying to encounter this light armor. Panzerschreck is making its way to the back, hoping to get some transport snipes, no doubt, as Reef's push is starting out here. Panzer 4F1 here, with its excellent HE fire support, does manage to get the better of a Digger's Piet, which will enable these flamers to get into position. But there is a field engineers here, and the Digger's Piet here is also opening up briefly. Right clicks the half track, but if they're in a building like that, they're not going to automatically move forward, so not going to happen there. Panzergrenadier getting pinned down by these. Oh, so it is an MG42. The Spandau there. Two more 2-star MG42s actually coming forward, as the flamers do get cleared up by the field engineers. Keppard finally moving forward. It's down in the south. That's a 4 just finally making its way in, as it's hoping kind of to provide recon and just a little bit of frontline presence. As the recon itself up here has had to been forced back. Lots of infantry coming in though. Stoßtrupp easily got cleaned out. They didn't even have Molotovs. They never stood a chance versus Caldromics MX. which are quite healthy squads for a flamer. Uplights not bad either, with the double Bren guns and 2 grease guns. Grease guns not being the best SMG out there, but certainly does some work. As that's open versus Digger's Piet. And there's no SMG on these, but as that's open, not being very effective. Does get the spread here with the Gepard doing a little bit of pin down damage, but the bombers on those with the 2nd New Zealand are very, very healthy. So even dual star Gepard not going to prevent that from pinning it down as one MG42 goes down. Multiple Stuarts though coming in now. Staghound a Mark II as well. As the Spitfire actually comes in for closer support on these Panzer Grenadiers, which have managed to pin down some of these infantry in the center here. 16-8. Nasty start for Reef here in 26 Panzerdivision. His luck really not holding out. And we saw that with his ping earlier, but Panzer 4F1 can be deadly. Does have quite the heat shell, but as the Spitfire strays it, it does take 1 shot from the Stuart. It is just 37mm, so as long as it's on target, these things are deadly. Actually firing the AP shells. A good choice there, I would say. The heat shells should probably be saved for trying to deal with stuff like Shermans and stuff like that. And the AP shells do have extra accuracy, I believe. As the infantry here for Crowarior manages to get itself lodged into this forest here. There's a Panzer IV that would be hard to deal with for these troops to take this flag. But as long as there's no CQC infantry, the Caldromics would be very secure. Panzer IV F1 moving forward though, as the Panzer IV actually as well comes. Ooh, 17 pounder though, still there. Panzer IV is going to try and take on the Staghound, but with that 17 pounder firing, got to be very careful. Staghound does get a hit, does go down though, but I would expect the 17 pounder to finish that off. Baltimore also coming in for these Azatstopen, these Panzer Grenadiers, just trying to use Azatstopen, which aren't like the worst troops in the world. For close range, but they're mostly used to chunk or to screen for other infantry. Bomber getting good hits on the Panzergrenadier, as this fight here in the town actually goes in favor of Crowarior. That F1 did a lot of work, likely that last tank being finished off by the Pack 40, and now no real infantry left here besides the field engineers, which as long as it's microed properly, these field engineers shouldn't be too big of a threat, but yeah, piece of armor up there, stop any MGs or anything like that. Stuart, again, going down to the Panzer IV F1. Panzer IV F1 being very good at dealing with light armor like that. Panzer IV as well, getting into this position here. As long as it doesn't get shot at by the 17th pounder, it should be relatively safe to continue doing what it does best as the Stoßtrupp surrenders that digger. Whereas that's open coming in here. 14-10, so Reef has stopped the tick here. The double tick, but these flags are very precariously held, I would say, having lost not only these 2 center flags, which is what makes Ciano often an instant ban for some players, but also the flag up here and the flag in the center. Meanwhile, only this flag having been taken properly by Reef. Dual Wolverines coming in. These are just M10s, but they don't have the excellent American APCR, so as long as like a Panther comes in or something, that shouldn't be too hard to deal with. But 17 pounder is still a threat to be reckoned with, so as long as there's no bomber to take that out, I would hesitate using a Panther. Has pinged the 6 pounder, probably in anticipation for these 2 Jagdpanzers coming out and helping on this infantry push here, as the 2-star Panzergrenadiers managed to finish off the infantry in the forest here and move their way forward. If it was one building in front, it'd just be able to completely shut down these diggers Piet. Ooh, it does get there. They do unload, but MG42, especially dual star out in the open, those are going to be forced to fall back. Stuarts though coming in, Pack 40, trying to move up, but not quite there yet. Multiple Wolverines though. Dealing with this as a 2-star Panzergrenadier does manage to spot the Caldromics mix here. Them opening up with their rifles before the Panzergrenadier can get in range of the flamethrower. Definitely a downside to any flamer with rifles, particularly Fallschirm Stoßpeiniers, with the G43s. Yeah, they're so often they just shoot with their 3 rifles that it's just completely useless. Gepard being used as 20mm support here, but gotta be careful of those Stuarts. Stuarts do open up. And the Gepard, ooh, it is getting shot at. Baltimore does get its load off. Does get out of the way. But these bombs are going to do a number on those Grenadiers. Definitely a good way to deal with these Grenadiers is just bombing them as multiple Opolites come in. Wolverines, though, almost running out of HE here. As actually, the Panzer Grenadier is forced to fall back from the Caldrums Cinematics, having smoked it off. 2 more Stuarts, though. Panzercheck coming in as a response. As we see 250s-9 also coming in. The Jagdpanzers are being rearranged, kind of. As the Pak-40 actually looks like it got a kill there. Very good work there. But these 250-9s really can't do a lot of good work unless all this light armor is down. And one of the things that 2nd New Zealand does excel at, of course, is that light armor play. Panzercheck looks like it's not going to get into the yellow cover before the Stuarts make up, but ooh, Panzer IV going probably having taken a shot earlier from Stuarts does go down right away. That is the danger of relying on units that are already on the field. Oop. The 57mm though. Getting a shot at that. MG42 moving forward now. This looks like a very low health 57mm. And with the APCR turned off, I might actually go down. I don't think that's actually too big of a threat to the Jagdpanzer. Interesting engagement at the very least as the 250-9s finally make it to the front. Stuart, of course, being no threat to the Jagdpanzer as long as it doesn't get this side. But the 270-9s are the one moving. And this Jagdpanzer is getting dangerously close to the diggers with the Piat. Does go down. I don't think this is taking a penetration from the looks of things. Wow, beautiful camo on that. Taking a shot at the stack out. Does get the kill there. This northern position very open, but still 16-8. Reef really has to make a counter push here to make this worth it. Panzerstrike did go down. Neither of the Stuarts are dead. Panzer IV coming out though as a response, but the 37mm is still deadly versus a Panzer IV, which particularly really helps the efficiency with this unit. Smoke from the Panzergrenadier Führer, going to smoke off the Jagdpanzer IV there, but it'll be very hard for Crowarior to get back into this position. However, this position right here, there's only one real flag to take. Well, it's like 2, 3, 4, 5 flags in the south here. If you can get a position on this foothill here, or on the side of this hill here, as the red side, you can pretty much almost be guaranteed a win if your opponent doesn't manage to push you back, just because of how much fire support you can provide. Focke-Wulf 190 going down to the Spitfire, the Grille having gone down to something, as the Jagdpanzer IV takes shots at another Staghound, but 17-pounder having moved up is dangerous. Ooh, doesn't quite get the accuracy, and it does pull back. Another Staghound coming up. These units are just slowly marching forward, which isn't really conductive to what you want to be doing with them. But first Sherman's coming in as well. An overabundance of them as the Panzer IV is trying to trade with Wolverines. Not an engagement you want to take, especially now with a 17-pounder backing them up. That's 3 guns to 1. Pak-40 though coming in, as long as these Stuarts. Ooh, now with the Panzer IV down, these Stuarts are free to advance though, and it just might be that these Digger Piats, which will not dedicated CQC infantry, will be Panzer Grenadiers, and could just destroy that Pak-40 before it even gets shots on these Wolverines. Especially with the Spitfire having almost completely destroyed it. Another Panzer IV coming in though. Grille being fairly useless. 250-9 moving forward. The Jagdpanzer IVs do get the better of the 17-pounder. Interesting to see there. Has multiple now 3-star Grenadiers move forward. This flag does go into the favor of Reef, but there's still just so many flags here, as another Panzer Grenadier had to be brought in to secure that flag. Ooh, Panzer IV is trying to make its way onto these Stuarts, but there are Piet troops here in the south making their way through. So even if the Panzer IV manages to kill both of these tanks, I would suspect it to go down fairly quick after that. Spitfire's still around though, no AA coming up. Let's go down. And now we'll move out in the open, but no doubt to get a bump into the Piet here. Gotta be careful. Ooh, Piet. Ooh, does hit. It's always a 50-50 with that. Panzer IV being pretty good against these Shermans, but there are two of them, so theoretically could micro around the side, especially in this close range yellow engagement, right? As that aiming time, wow, just absolutely blast the 250-9 there. Seafire as well, up. It does manage to get this flag here, but this flag is barely secured, and just a single unit of infantry there. We'll stop that. Ooh, Pack 40 getting the kill on the Befford here, or whatever unit was in that infantry, was in there, as it does manage to sneak into this position. As long as there's recon here, I should be able to get shots on target, but didn't quite see it until now. The recon set on return fire there, so it doesn't reveal its position and die. Killer going down. Spitfire, forced retreat finally. Panzer IV, exactly what I said what would happen, right? Well, the Panzer IV is impenetrable. All you gotta do is move the Shermans forward and get around its side, and it's not that dangerous anymore, as the center position even now looks precarious. Back to a 14-10. 15 minutes into this game. Pioneers coming in half tracks, trying to dig out these diggers. One more Wolverine here. 17 pounder, of course, also can't attack Panzer Grenadiers, but these snipers would be able to deal with that, no problem. Panzer Grenadier pins down the artillery command, but all this Color Dynamics has to do is move forward. Pioneer's also going to clear out those diggers Piet. Panzer Grenadier with Panzerfaust. Might get a cheeky kill on some of these Shermans here if they do get surrounded, but the Shermans do see it and saw it for a second. The 50 cals doing a little bit of suppression there. Dual Star, Panzer Grenadier though, shooting at the Opolites. Another Spitfire coming in for it. Again, no AA, right? Half track getting surrounded here. We might see it go back to a 12-12. All the effort to push Crowarior out of the position here has somewhat paid off, but in that meantime, Crowarior has now gotten a lot of reinforcements up here, as the Jagdpanzer in this position also went down to a 17-pounder. Definitely not immortal troops, and actually these raiders are keeping the front line for just a little bit longer. Funny to see, really. As another Baltimore comes in. Focke-Wulf 190 being brought in just to deal with that 17-pounder, so the Panzer IV can be potentially a bit more useful. No AA for Crowarior as well, as we see the first AA piece finally coming in the form of a FAMO. Sherman 3, gonna get the snipe on the half track. There's a Pack 40 coming in, and multiple Pioneers, but the Spitfire actually gets the kill on those Panzer, or one of those Panzer Grenadiers. The Pioneers, though, they're not even stressed out, and as long as they get into these forests, the Opolites, while being okay in the CQC role, definitely not quite meant for it. Focke-Wulf did not manage to finish off that 17-pounder. Panzer IV now versus the Wolverine. Does have the veterancy on it. Ooh, but gets the bailout as the snipers now open up together with the Spandau. Reef not quite happy about that. Some profanity in the chat as well, as I would expect. He's just about ready to give up. Still going to play on for now, though. Pack 40 firing at God knows what. Oh, the Sherman from the side here. Interesting sightlines there. Does get the kill, having taken a shot from the something other earlier, as the 259s come forward to deal with all this infantry. Staghound, though, coming up to deal with those in turn. The Staghound does have to be a little bit careful versus the 20mm, but the Sherman 3 will have no problem once he arrives. Pioneers do a good job as that's hoping to go down. The rest of this infantry goes down, and now there's not a lot here to hope for anymore. As this deep into Maverick, there's only 2 more ticks worth of income left. And that's just not going to be enough. Bombers doing, like, amazing work, though. Just managing to force his infantry back before they can pin down the rest of this. As the stag hound aims and shoots quicker than the 250-9. If it was double teaming these, this would be another thing, but it's not. Likely he's going to get the second shot off and going to make that go down. Spitfire coming in again now. Got to kill off that Panzer Grenadier. He has its open. Preempt to fall back, so nothing really goes down there. There's 2 more MG-34 Grenadiers come in. As it's open, marching forward. There's still an Opolites there, though. Lots of assets open, hoping for some recon and a Pack 40. But he really needs to get a flag back. I would suspect it would be this one. As long as he can get eyes on this Opolites, he might be on the Marine and Bomber or something. And just hope for the 12-12 for long enough. Pack 40 pinned down. 17 pounder also was getting shots at that Grille. As the Sherman 3 arrives, and there's nothing really besides this Panzer 4 to deal with the Sherman. And the Sherman versus a Panzer 4, the Sherman just aims so fast that if you're within the like 500 meter range or so, as the second does go down to the 250-9. If you're within the 500 meter range or so, that Sherman is just deadly. Last of the infantry cleared up though, so Sherman does have to be a little bit careful as the Focke-Wulf 190 gets the kill on that 17 pounder. 2 minutes left on the game though. That's, I think, the only bomber we've seen this game, so there's going to need to be another call in here or something, as the Opolites are going to tear these Azets open in the open to shreds. Bunch more infantry coming in. Last of the Phase B income. 15-9 now. Not very good. Panzer 4 moving forward. Ooh, it is going to see the Sherman first, and the Sherman does have to turn quite far, so we'll get the first shot off, but they trade almost immediately. A bounce from the Sherman, though. Unlucky. We'll get the second shot off, and 2-star Panzer 4 gets the kill there. Panzerdivision with the Panzerführer is 2-star, but out in the open versus the Opolites, not exactly a trade. And we do see the Focke-Wulf hit the Opolites, but it doesn't go down. Oh, and that's not what's needed right now, as this flag has also gone back. And actually, the flag here being just supported by this one Caledromics. Like, why? The bloody Raider infantry of the 2nd New Zealand has just so much influence on the front line. I'm not sure what Eugen did with this, because this is a division that was fairly early brought into the game. But, like, this should not be happening. This barely even happens with commanders and stuff. And, like, a leader should have a lot more influence on the front line than something like a Caledromics MX. And even surrounded, it's just not going down. Question mark. I didn't see what he's talking about there, but this FAMA was actually almost out of ammo. Canada moving forward. Pack 40, hoping to get a shot on that Wolverine. Can they get shots out, though? Ooh, and the Gilly gets the kill on the Wolverine, finally. As it's open, cleaned out the rest of those Opolites there, as the Panzer 4 actually gets forced to fall back from just a load of bombers. This Grille now being used as a good fire support here into this town, but there's a Sherman there. Pack 40 is trying to kill it. Might get a couple of shots off. APCR is also turned off. Does retreat. As a Sopa might actually get the surrender here. Yep. It is 12-12 for the time being. But this isn't the first time that I've seen a game like this turn around. But somehow, just based on the dispersion of units, Reef almost has to play defensively, but aggressively enough to keep the move up. The problem is that 2nd New Zealand and Crowarior has just bought in so many units, and this Caledromics MX still isn't put out so much air that really, instead of 4 Pioneers, what he should be doing is buying more AA. As actually an Opel Blitz comes in to try and clean this up. 70 pounder though, get shots at the Panzer 4 F1. This center position is looking mighty low now, but he's still gonna have to push for it. Baltimore coming in again. The FAMO, actually, because it wasn't reloading, is gonna run out of ammo to stop this Baltimore. Focke-Wulf coming in though. Oh, does get a second shot off, but yeah, coming in from that 17 pounder again. And now is out of ammo, and that Pack 40, the support, is going to go down. These light snipers. Of course, not affecting the front line, being recon. And we actually see the Krille go down to the 17-pounder. Pack 40, though, is in a position to stop any further reinforcements from this, so that flag is going to stay in Reef's hands for now, and that's exactly what he needs. But there's only this flag as like a guarantee, really. And the Piet scouts are actually gonna... Ooh, they do miss. But the recon on those, with no infantry support, is very dangerous. Famo coming in, though. Finally reloading as well. Pioneers getting mowed down by the MG there. Surprised that they were in range. Ooh. Yeah, these Famos really need to be higher vet to prevent anything like that. And this bloody 70-pounder is somehow still not dead as the Krille goes down. And that's just, like, with how many bombers were spent trying to kill this, that is such an annoying 17-pounder. This might be a new one, actually. Does get forced back the Spitfire, but Reef is ticking now. The Panzer IV not holding onto this flag because the freaking Raiders with the Caladromics FX are still sitting there. Panzer IV F1 moving forward. As long as that 17-pounder whiffs its first shot, might actually go down there. This flag also going back to the favor of Crowarior. Pioneer coming in, but maybe too little too late as the MG desperately tries to put the front line towards that. Ooh, does get that flag back. 25 minutes. Finally gets the surround as this Panzer IV is just doing work, but the Spitfire actually going for the infantry. I would try to focus on this Panzer IV. And this just really isn't an efficient trade. Does go off, kills the Panzer IV. It's not really the income for this, as the MG42 does trade off versus the Maori, but in the open, that's going to go down. Another Pack 40 coming in. Famo actually went down. Ooh, probably got air spammed there. Yeah, and we see just the power of being able to build up your air force can really pay off in the late games, especially if your opponent has been training too long. Pioneers actually going to go down to the Caladromics MX. Ooh, but somehow do get their grenade off. Interesting to see. So that finally goes down, but the Pioneers here not trading well with us versus the Field Engineers. The Pioneers are more expensive, but the Field Engineers also not being a very powerful unit as they also go down. Still somewhat has control of a little bit of the map here, but this half-track is not long for the world as the Sherman 3 comes in. And how is this 17-pounder still here? Like, my god. Half-track's going down. Another Pack 40 coming in. Desperately trying to deal with these, but this is now a HE Sherman. And this HE Sherman is going to prevent any of this from happening. The Reef 59, but unless Reef's deck is really deep, will be dangerous. 88 though, getting the instant fallback on that Spitfire. Got to be careful though. Now we've seen, or I think at least we should have seen, Crowarior come in with a bunch of planes before to kill something like this, so I would expect it to happen again. But yeah, no tank coming in. Another Panzer IV. We'll have to get lucky against that Sherman again. Panzer IV F1 did go down here. Just infantry just queue moving forward, which is not really what you want to be doing at this stage of the game. You really need to trade effectively in C phase, and Reef has to basically make it a 59 somehow within the next 20 or so minutes at the very least, and if not in the 20 minutes, he needs like a 6 to 18 somehow. It is doable, and I might actually have a game coming out on the channel soon that does show a comeback of this magnitude, so be on the lookout for that. But really, I'm just not seeing how after that disastrous early A phase can come back after from this. As it's hoping moving forward, the Panzerstrike long having not even made it up here. If the SS-Truppen do get on the Spandau, they can actually kill it, and then there wouldn't really be anything to prevent the push down here, except the 6-pounder. Like, there's no AA either, so with a little bit of like proper recon from these SS-Truppen it could be possible that the Spando goes down, and then the AT gun goes down, and then there's just a salient here, and you can rush a whole bunch of units in. But I somehow doubt that Reef has enough income saved in for that, as the Sherman does get here before the Panzer IV. There is a Panzerschreck there, so it does have to be careful of that, as the Panzer Grenadiers are doing good work on this infantry. Oh, Panzerschreck coming forward. I don't think it's going to get in range of that. And if it does, it's definitely going to be seen, I think. The flag goes down in 54 seconds to retake that one flag. Panzerschreck, ooh, does get the shot off. And the kill. Come on, flag. Tick back over. Thank you. I'm not ready for this to be over just yet. Baltimore coming in. There's one 88mm to ward that off, but the Sherman is just kind of be fire positioning there. Not actually the best thing to do is this flag now. Now the salient that I was talking about does kind of show itself. Ooh, as it's opener, just gonna squeak by the Spann now. And now, as long as Reef sees this, he might actually have an opening here. The 17-pounder is still alive, but once the 6-pounder goes down, like that's, you could theoretically put 3-4 units in here and fight his way back into this game just by trading effectively. Famo now actually almost out of ammo as the Panzer IV comes forward. Panzer IV should secure this area from all this infantry, but there's another Sherman 3 coming in. Panzerschreck actually haven't gone down after killing the Sherman previously. Lots more infantry coming in, but into the north here and not into the south. There is a little bit of investment into the south, but the bombers have shot at the Erzherztruppen, so the 6-pounder remains hidden. And that 6-pounder, there's just not enough units here to unload on this flag, basically. For the time being, though, 13 to 11. But yeah, as this infantry now manages to make the last of this infantry fall back, and these half-tracks are just a little bit too slow to come to the front. The Panzer IV can't even see the stack counts. There's 2 of them. Oh, very dangerous here. They fire. Panzer IV sees it. They do bounce. Now the Sherman's coming in too. Once stack count goes down, it's going to retreat. Ooh, but gets the kill. Oh, man. Not what you want to see. Now with this flag going back. This flag's technically still bringing the 12-12. And a lot of units actually coming into this. Yeah, Reef has not had very good RNG this game. Jeez. Unfortunate. That was a struggle of a game as he finally gives up there. 2,410 to 3,505. What a game. Yeah, I would expect the air really to be the deciding difference here. That 17-pounder. That must be the first one that came in. And just, yeah, like the fighter bombers, 2 of them not being able to kill like a 1 health 17-pounder. That's so unfortunate. The RNG was just not in Reef's favor this entire game. Spitfire as well, getting 2 F8s. Sherman 3 doing good work against half-tracks, stuff like that. The Jagdpanzer 4 in the forest going down. Yeah, definitely a case of over pushing, maybe tilted, not sure. But in any case, good show to both players. Almost had it, Reef. But I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you very much, and goodbye.